Hello YouTube, I've actually been spending a lot of time playing the Crash Bandicoot N-Sane trilogy, which has got me thinking, maybe I don't buy enough remasters and ports of games and things like that. So I thought I'd have a look through my collection and see what I actually have, and it's actually scared me how many games I have bought twice, usually for a little bit of a lick of paint or just for a bit of nostalgia. So I thought I'd go through them all and show them that I've got lying around. Some of them you might be surprised that actually are ports, but I don't know. It's not really meant to be all that informative, but I'll show you what I got. Well, we'll start with the first culprit that made me think about this. It's Crash Bandicoot. But just before I bought Crash Bandicoot, I thought I'd give this one a shot. Which is Ratchet and Clank, which is a remake of the first game. It was done to coincide with the movie. None of these games here are going to be in any kind of order, just what I've grabbed off the shelf looking around. Some of them are my girlfriend's, I'll make sure that's clear, because she would not like me to attribute all the Zelda games to myself. But yeah, another easy, obvious one, Rare Replay, just 30 games from the past. Worth it for Conker's Bad Fur Day alone, but yeah, a lot of those games I've bought before. A game that came out last generation. They said it wasn't going to come out this generation, which to me would consider this a remaster. It had better graphics. It was just had more content online, and it had different modes, like first-person mode, which I would consider Grand Theft Auto 5 actually a remaster. Another one that came out, which was in no need to come out this generation. It wasn't released at the same time, they just did it as a cash grab, was a re-release of Saints Row 4. Came with Gat Out of Hell with it, this one did. Got a remake here for the DS. Super Mario 64 DS. It's a strange one. They added new characters, which it does change it up a bit, but on the DS itself, playing it with a D-pad isn't all that fun. It hurts your hands. But if you play it on a 3DS, you can use the circle pad, which makes it a lot more fun. This isn't a direct port, this one, but it's close enough to being. Just another. It seemed to me like it was more of a cash grab, kind of. Let's give it a shot and see how it goes. Diddy Kong Racing DS. They didn't do much different than the 64 one in my opinion. And then another one for the DS was Rayman DS, which is a port of Rayman 2, which came out on the N64 and the Dreamcast. Don't know if it came out on the PS1. Might not have. Don't quote me on that one. Don't think it did. Same when it comes to the PS2, there was a lot of PSP games which came out and people wanted to play them. So I've got a few of these on the list. They didn't really change much when they ported them to the PS2, but they didn't come out at the same time. So in my opinion, they're ports. First one up, Silent Hill Origins. They could have added second stick support, but they didn't. You had to center the camera by clicking a button, one of the shoulder buttons I think it was. You can tell how lazy these might have been, because there's like nothing on the backs of them. It's kind of weird. Same with one. This was a Wii game and a PSP game, but it's quite sought after now. Which Silent Hill Shattered Memories. Again, it's probably the best version of this game, the PS2 one, I would say. Just because of the controls alone. What else got lying around? Another pretty unnecessary game, which was brought to this generation for no reason, but I loved it, so I played it again. Sleeping Dogs, the Definitive Edition. All they did was slap all the DLC on it and chuck it on a disc. Don't even think the graphics had much of an improvement. PS3 like doing these like updates and HD collections, so God of War 1 and 2 on a collection. They've also got the PSP games available, but I don't have them. Another game that got ported from the GameCube to the Wii. It wasn't really necessary. I didn't like the controls of this version, but a lot of people seem to like it. But this game has been pretty much ported to everything since its inception, but it wasn't really necessary. I don't think it was Resident Evil 4, the Wii edition. I've got so many copies of Resident Evil 4. There's a few games on 360. I haven't got a great deal of. There isn't as many ports and remasters and remakes on the PS4, on the Xbox 360 as most consoles, but there's Tomb Raider Anniversary, which is a remake of the first Tomb Raider, with the same controls and graphics as Tomb Raider Legend. Another one of these collections of games, which is the Namco Virtual Arcade. It's got all Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Mr. Driller, Pole Position. There's loads of games on there. Can't remember, it's 34, I think. Yeah, 34 games. But I've played them so many times. Why did I buy them again? Why? Talking, that is another anniversary edition of something. They did mix it up and make it 3D in some bits, but you can play the original, which is the Space Invaders Anniversary for PS2. Another one that had an anniversary. Two of the games in this collection are already PS2 games, but they remade. Well, I think they must have ported the Dreamcast one to it, but again, this had another copy of Rayman 2 on it, this time called Rayman Revolution. Another game that was on the PSP that did well, so they turned it into a PS2 game. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. They also did a Vice City Stories for the PS2, but I don't have that, I only have it on PSP, but that's the original, so never mind. Since the Vita was a dying platform, everyone says, but I love the Vita. I will continue to support the Vita. They released a PS4 version of Tearaway, which, to be honest, is an awesome game. I haven't actually played the Vita one, I wish I had, but I just haven't found it out and about on my travels. A really random one, actually. It's a port of a PS2 game to the PS4. To be honest, it isn't even that great. It looks like they were trying to cash in on things like the Ratchet and Clank remakes and all that kind of thing, but there is a bit of a cult following for it. It's The Legend of Kay. It's the Anniversary Edition. Another collection for the PS3 here. One which was, I think, was originally a Wii game, and one was a GameCube and PS2 game. Which is the Tales of Symphonia Chronicles, which has got Grace's F, which I think was the Wii one, and then Tales of Symphonia, which was the GameCube game. Then starts the pile of PS3 ones, which are either remakes or rehashes or anything like that. There's a HD collection of the Sly trilogy, PS2 games ported to the PS3. This isn't a direct remake, but it's more of a reimagining of a horror game. There's two of them on the PS2, 1 and 2, but the PS3 version is Siren Blood Curse. Up again, another trilogy, Ratchet and Clank trilogy. More PS2 games. Put to the PS3, some more PS2 games brought to the PS3, which is the Prince of Persia trilogy. I can't pick these up. I think this might only be physically available in Japan, but it is available on the store, I think. For the PS2 game, great game though. It's Okami, brought to the PS3. There's also a Wii version of that, but I think it started as a PS2 game, I think. Then got ported to the Wii, no one bought it, then they made a HD version. I think I've got the Wii version somewhere lying around, but never mind. Up next is a pair of games. Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 Remix. They are the PS2 games, but they've got a lot of extras to them from like the DS games and all that kind of thing. So they're not direct, they've got added content. This one I'll add in because it contains a PS2 game, which was remastered. The Killzone Trilogy, it's got the first one in it. Another HD collection of a trilogy is the Jak and Daxter trilogy. PS3 really like to bring the PS2 games to the PS3. And another one, which is Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. To be honest, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I do like a lot of these games, and they do look a lot better than the PS2 versions. Another collection of games, slapped onto a disc pretty haphazardly, but still quite fun. For the Xbox One, here is Mega Man Legacy Collection. It's got Mega Man 1 to 6 on it. A few more games for the 360, which contain ports and remasters and stuff. The Mega Drive Ultimate Collection, also known as the Sega Genesis, Sonic's Genesis Collection or something in America. Yeah, I can't remember how many games are on that. Quite a few. I need to push some of this stuff back, but it's not all going to fit on here. Up next, the Hitman HD Trilogy. It's got one of the Hitman Blood Money was already on the 360, so they just bundled it in, but there is 2 remasters on there. Silent Assassin and Contract. Then they went ahead and remade Halo 1, it's Halo Anniversary. This one isn't really a remaster, it's more a mashing together of all the games. But again, this one was pointless. It was Guitar Hero's Greatest Hits. This is a surprisingly good remaster actually, I enjoyed this just because I like the series. Which is Fable Anniversary, remade the first one for the 360. This one didn't come out at the same time as the original PS2 version, and it also got its original name back in the UK, which is Bully. A lot of people don't realise it is enhanced graphics, enhanced gameplay, all that. It says it on the back. Right. Getting to the end of this. This was literally just what I could see from just sitting around. Next was a port of a Dreamcast game. It was supposed to be an exclusive, but the Dreamcast started to die, so this one makes sense to port, but it's a good game nonetheless. Resident Evil Code Veronica X. This was a remake made from the ground up. It was originally a GameCube exclusive, but they've brought it out on pretty much everything since. Which is the remaking of Resident Evil, first one. A game that was a bit random. I don't understand why they bothered to do this, because just you could get it on the 360, and it's not even that old. But they re-released Dishonored as a definitive edition. There's been numerous collections and ports of Zelda games. There's the Legend of Zelda promotional disc thing, it's the collector's edition, with Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on it. Also a demo of Wind Waker. This one I wouldn't exactly consider it as being a port as such. It was originally made for something, then as the new console was coming out they ported it over to it, but they made the same game and pretty much flipped it. It's Twilight Princess. It originally started life as GameCube game, but they did actually come out at the same time. I think the GameCube one might have been slightly earlier, but that one's a bit of a cheat. Another random PSP one. Taito Legends Power Up. Got games like Space Invaders. That's so many Space Invaders. I basically have this basically for New Zealand story because it's good fun. There's a lot of GBA games that were redone. There should be another one here. There's a lot of like Legend of Zelda ones which have been ported, like the original to the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance and all that kind of thing. But there's a lot of Mario ones as well, which comes in the form of Super Mario Advance. Just as Mario Advance. It's a copy. It's Mario 2, the European and American version, not the Japanese Lost Levels one. Then keeping with the Zelda themes, there's a remake, Ocarina of Time 3D, Majora's Mask 3D, I don't know if you can get this in the picture, Zelda HD Wind Waker for the Wii U. Then again, another remake of Twilight Princess for the Wii U in HD. And the last two games I'm going to waffle on about, which, that's right, I don't care if no one watches. A remake of the original Pokemon Red, Fire Red, and the final game, the only Vita game I've got on this collection, even though there's a few of them, which is a remake of a PS2 game, just Persona 4 Golden. So, looking at that, me thinking I should probably start buying a few more of these remakes and play games I used to love. Yeah, I don't think I need to. Surprisingly, there's a lot of them, and I haven't gone out of my way to collect them. It's just games over time, which I thought I'll give that a shot. Give that a shot. There's loads of stuff, like there's remasters of the Metal Gear games. Last of Us was redone. Heavy Rain was redone. There's a PS4 version of Journey for some reason that was redone. It just gets kind of crazy when you think about it. But like all the old Walking Dead games, they were brought forward to the newer consoles. It's not a bad thing. It means more people get to play them, but I've probably got to stop buying the same thing over and over. Anyway, that's just me waffling on about junk. Have fun, people. Bye.